Well, hello there, Mason families. This is Dr. Bishop, and I am so happy to come to you today to talk a little bit about some of the changes you might see starting March 1st. Just a reminder, March 1st, our district has elected all of our students to come back in a full face-to-face model Monday through Friday. And we are very excited to see our students in that capacity, but we are also making sure that we're being as safe as possible. So I'm coming to you today with some things you may already know, but we're going to revisit some things so when we have students in the building, they are aware of what to expect in all areas of our building. Please take a chance to be able to listen to this message in its entirety and also go over our return to school document that is also and in this email communication. Once again, March 1st, all students will be coming back face to face Monday through Friday every day. So we will not have the cohort model anymore. But there will be some things that definitely will still be occurring. We still will be having home screenings. We're still going to have certain locations for students to get dropped off and picked up every day. Sign in and sign out forms will definitely be in effect, and we're going to go all over all of those things in the next couple of slides. Home screenings. It is so important that we have our families screen their children at home before they come to school. Please, if your child is having some illness, if your child is not feeling well, if your child is coughing, if they're having any of the symptoms or multiple symptoms that are on the home screening worksheet that we send to our families weekly, please make sure you're not sending your child to school. We want to make sure that we're keeping everybody safe, and that includes everybody doing their part. Please make sure your child is bringing a water bottle. Make sure they're bringing their lunch. We also have lunch. We have bagged options for lunch if a child needs lunch when they're at Mason, but make sure they're bringing their lunch if they want it. Make sure they're bringing 2 to 3 masks with their name labeled on not only the mask, but everything that they bring to Mason. We're doing our best not to share supplies this year, so please make sure that your child's name is clearly written on everything that is theirs so that we can make sure that they are the only one that is using it and it goes home with that child daily. Make sure we're bringing our individual school supplies. Make sure we're bringing our backpack, and any type of hand sanitizer or tissue you can give to our school is always greatly appreciated. Let's talk a little bit about building entrances and drop-off locations. Some of these have changed since we're going from a hybrid model to a full face-to-face model on March 1st. So our young fives and kindergarten students will still get dropped off by the bike racks every day and also picked up there. We're going to have our first grade and second grade students now line up in the back parking lot area. So that's the parking lot that's right off to the right of our drop-off circle. We're going to have that zoned off so no cars will be able to go back there after 8:15. That way students can line up there safely. That will allow them to be closer to the building and also will allow us to get inside of the school easier in case we have inclement weather. Please make sure you are stopping, you are dropping, and you are going when you are dropping your child off every day. If for any reason you need to get your child situated, give them their last little hugs and kisses, put on their mask, put on their coat, please find a parking spot to park in to make sure that we're keeping our drop-off line moving. We want to make sure we're keeping everybody as safe as possible. And as you can see on Vernier, it's a very high traffic area, and we want to make sure that no cars are put in danger by being kind of in the road. So we want to make sure students are able to get dropped off and they're able to have cars exit safely and as quick as possible. Once again, we just talked about young fives and kindergarten students are getting dropped off by the bike rack daily and getting picked up there. And they will enter the ramp door, which is door C. Here's a picture of our new drop-off location for our first and second graders that will start March 1st. You can see the area will be coned off every day at 8:15. Students should not be arriving before 8:20 anyway, so when they come, they will only see the area being coned off. And you're still going to pull all the way around when you're dropping your child off. You're not just going to stop here by the cones. You're going to pull all the way around. That way we can make sure that we can get as many cars in the parking lot as possible. And remember, if you're not ready to get out of the car when you pull up with your child, please find a parking spot to park in. If you're getting here before 8:20, don't wait here for teachers to come out to help assist you. Please find a parking spot so you can help assist making sure that we get as many cars in the parking lot as possible. As we just talked about briefly, first and second grade students will get dropped off in their new area that is by the back parking lot. And then they will enter the building through door A, which is the front door, or our custodial doors, which is right behind where they will be lining up daily. Our third grade students will come in daily from the Rock off Anita, and they will go to the blacktop area by the playground to line up daily. They also will be dismissed from the Rock every day as well. And they will enter the building through door B. Because we have a split classroom that has third graders and fourth graders in it, we have decided to have all the students from that classroom meet in one particular location so the teacher can make sure that they get to their cars safely. So Miss Nurse will take her students, her third grade and fourth grade students, to the Rock daily to make sure that they get home safely. They will also come to the blacktop to line up in the morning, and they will enter in door B. Our fourth grade students will still get dropped off and picked up off Charlevoix. There are gates that are there, so please make sure that you are pulling your car up there to make sure that your children can get in safely. Please do not let any children out on the right side of Charlevoix to walk across traffic. That is very dangerous. We will wait for you to be able to make the loop to turn your car around. That way, your child can get in safely on the right side of the street. They will also line up on the blacktop at 8:20 every morning, and then they will enter into the building using door B. Here's a map of our building entrances and drop-off location. You can see that the new changes that we have are reflected on this new map, and we'll be making sure that we send everybody a digital version of this map. That way, if you want to post it on your refrigerator, you can. That way, you know exactly where you're going every morning. When you enter the building every morning, step number one is going to be to grab breakfast if you need it. Okay, only if you need it. We are very fortunate to be able to offer breakfast to any student that needs it, but only if you need it. Not because I want to have a second or a third meal in the morning. No, if you need breakfast and you didn't have a chance to eat before you got to Mason, feel free to grab one of the bag lunches that are on the cart. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your classroom and you're going to sanitize your hands. And then you're going to go to your lockers, right? And you might even go to your lockers first and then you might sanitize. But either way, we are practicing sanitizing and making sure with the first couple of things that we do when we get in the building is that we are sanitizing, we're putting our things away, and we are social distancing when we can. If you are here after the tardy bell is at 8:25 a.m. every day. If you come after the tardy bell and we are not outside anymore to welcome your children to Mason, please make sure you are walking your child to the door when you arrive late and scanning our QR code. If you are picking your child up early, you also need to scan our QR code and ring our buzzer outside so we can make sure we're bringing the child down to you, but we need to make sure that we're tracking exactly when a child's getting checked in and getting checked out. So we need your help with that. Don't just drop your child off and have them to go ring the buzzer themselves, because chances are sometimes we may not be in the office when that buzzer is ringing, and we don't want a child just standing out there without an adult. So please make sure that you are standing there with your child when they are being checked in. We are not letting people in the building right now to make sure we're keeping everybody safe, but please make sure that you are checking your child in and out of the school appropriately. Our breakfast and lunch schedule, and our pretty much the entire flow of our day is right here for you to be able to check out. We do have two lunch schedules this year. Our first lunch consists of young fives and kindergarten students in the lunchroom, while we have our third and fourth graders outside. And then they flip flop. They get 25 minutes of each activity. And then our second lunch is first and second grade. So our first and second graders will eat together, and then they will also go outside together as well. Parking lot procedures. Can't go over this enough. The Mason parking lot is something that we always talk about, and we always need your help. And speaking of help, if you're an adult in the parking lot and you want to help out and you want a vest to be able to help out in the parking lot, I am all about that. So just let me know, and you can also be a volunteer to help us to make sure traffic keeps flowing smoothly. Please don't drop your child off before 8:20, and make sure your child is ready to go when they get to Mason to be dropped off. A bathroom, lockers, and drinking fountains are all an area of interest and concern for us. So, with that being said, our bathrooms, we're still only doing two people at a time in the bathroom, and we must have passes. If you see two passes that are outside the bathroom, that means you cannot go in and you must line up on one of the red dots. Our drinking fountains will continue to be closed until further notice. So we do have bottle filling stations where you can bring your own water bottle to be able to fill it up and take it back to your classroom. Once again, when you leave the classroom and you go back to the classroom, the first thing you do is you sanitize your hands. So please make sure that you are abiding by our COVID procedures. Dismissal procedures. Please pick up your child exactly where you dropped them off. Okay, that is so important. We are trying to minimize the amount of people that we have on campus. We're also trying to minimize the amount of gathering opportunities that we have here at Mason. So please make sure that you're not just all hovering in one area. You're picking your child up exactly where you dropped them off at. And that's important because your child needs to know exactly where to meet you to get picked up as well. Students that are walking home are encouraged to walk home immediately. We are not allowing students to play on the playground. I know it's going to start getting warmer. Students can only play on the playground if they are assisted and supervised by an adult. Okay, so make sure we're following those rules as it relates to dismissal. Last but not least, I just want to thank you. Thank you for your time, right? And this is one of the quotes that I feel like really involves all of us. We need to have empathy for one another. I can definitely say for the Mason staff, our teachers are working so hard to be able to make sure we're providing a learning experience for our students that is fruitful, but it is also safe. And we know for a fact our community is working very hard to minimize the effects of COVID and to get us back to our school in a traditional format safely. So just because someone cares it well doesn't mean it's heavy. So even though we may smile every day, even though we know for a fact people have a lot going on, please let's be kind, let's be courteous to one another, and let's always do our best to be our best for our Mason students. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.